what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah. Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah.
Yeah, fun Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah. Keep listening.
Here we go. Hey, there we go. Yeah, now we're ready. Woo! Hey, it's your show. I'm not Gary. That's Gary.
I just did a whole thing. I just talked about how this is a little bit of a different setup. I told you she'd get to her spot, too.
She
eh?
did. She nailed it.
Oh, my goodness. Welcome into the Wednesday edition of your show. I am your host, Gary. This is still, as far as we know, the only show going live originating out of Saskatoon, 4 to 5 p.m. on the internet, Monday to Friday. So incredibly grateful and thankful that we're allowed to say that, because when you're doing it different, people notice. That's how you get noticed in a world where everybody's trying to do the same thing. Just be a little different. It's very, very cool. You can see right beside me here, Simon Hyatt in the house, my main man from Staying Wild and oh so much more. We'll get into a little bit of that today. We also have producer Brando in the tooth booth today. All the love to our friends, Dr. Funkhauser and Associates. You don't got to worry about putting that one up, buddy. We don't have the camera. It's okay. Yeah, you can smash it. So I left the mics in from the second set. That's what happened. So I screwed up again. We knew that we were going to have a bunch of these because we have no producers.
Yeah, Brando.
This is well, Brando's filling in
Yeah, he is.
beautifully already.
He's doing well.
There's no sound! That would have been funny to hear that audio. So, before we get to anything else, we're going to try this right now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the greatest camera in the history of mankind. We call it around here the five-time award-winning Maggie Cam. Let's see what she's up to today. Look at that. Look at that switch.
Beautiful. Nailed it.
And she's framed in perfect. I told you. Like, right before we got in the intro, we're like, oh, she's going over there. And I said, you know what, Simon? She'll just go. She just knows.
Pro's pro. I should have known. I should never have doubted her. Sorry, Mags.
The best in the biz. The Maggie Cam for our incredible friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. Whether you're going through poop pickup season, as that is happening, they have all the tools you need to make that as easy as possible. It is also dirty pet season. The cleaning station over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, second to none. So much so, I think we can throw it in here right now. You feeling confident over there, Uncle Brando? Yeah. Let's have a little peeksy-poo at what that cleaning station looks like.
Look at that. Whoa!
Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Big Urs. She is a beautiful, majestic steed. And that's Uncle Brando right beside her. That's the cleaning station. You pop them in there, give them a wash, and then you dry them off. And she looks so happy. Was she really that happy the whole time? That's unbelievable.
Fantastic.
You look like you're having a good time. Did you get yourself a free shower? That's that look. I've seen that look before. It's like, yeah, I'm happy. This is going great. I'm not totally covered in dog water. That's a nice look at what you get at that cleaning station. They have the blow dryer, they got the soap, everything you need to pop your dog right in the tub there, and off you go. So Leroy is their greeting dog, just like Maggie's our greeting dog here. Leroy, they just so happen to be dating. It's a very, very cute little situation. He walks you right up to the till. When you walk in, he's got a bed right beside the door, And then he introduces you to his mom and dad, Mike and Rochelle, and they guide you through the greatest shopping experience of your life. It's absolutely incredible. They got all the latest in toys, leashes. The brand new buckle up collars with matching leashes are there. All of the food. They got the raw food in the back if you want to change things up for your dog's diet. There you go. Look at that. Simon's showing it off a little bit. Hold on. Maybe I can get the little club light on there. You see it? A little bit, yeah. You see it? That's pretty cool. Anyway,
really cool.
That's my Marvel buckle up collar that Marge loves to wear whenever it's time to go out and be fancy. And we also have the matching Marvel leash with that. And they have so many different ones. They got Flintstones, they got SpongeBob, anything for everybody. It's all there. They also have an entire giant toy section that has also all the latest clothing for your pets. It's super cute. They got treats spread out throughout the entire place in big giant buckets and like all the different treats you can think of. Everything you need and so much more. It's all there for you. And they're also open after hours and weekends, thanks to our friends Kirsten and Chris. All of that. Man, I'm telling you, we say it all the time. I know we start the show doing this, but we really, truly mean it every single time. This is the best pet store in the universe. All of our family here uses them all the time, and they actually care. And it's very rare to find businesses that actually care about you. All the businesses say they do, but to find the ones that actually do, that prove it, it's a very, very rare thing. And our friends at Pet Planet on 8th Street, they do that. And that's why we love them and support them so much. So be sure to stop by, say hello, and take your pet and your pet's life, your pet life and your pet's life to the next level.
Absolutely.
Just coming up with all the words here. This is great. Pet Planet on 8th Street, check them out.
Another good reason to wash your dog, which is something I've discovered, unfortunately, firsthand in the last week. The ticks. The ticks are back. The
don't
ticks
say
are
that.
out. Yesterday
Uncle Brando
morning
was just talking about needing to get tick stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Tell us about yesterday morning.
I pulled two, not off my dog. I got to pull 2 ticks off my wife yesterday.
That's like
Yeah.
that's a total like
It's
reverse.
love.
It's the reverse. What's it called? Like when you eat clams and stuff.
I don't know where you're
Oysters.
going.
Aphrodisiac is a reverse.
Oh,
aphrodisiac.
yes.
That's sorry. I know that got really weird for a second, but we made it. We got through. Well, was she like super scared and like was it like?
Well, she was like, I can't do this. I can't remove these from myself. Can you please do this? And one was at like 4 a.m. And then like she works early, so she went off and I went back to sleep. And then she like woke me up like a couple hours later and said, I got another one and this one's between my toes.
No.
So yeah, I was on tick duty.
And what's your tick removal process?
Tweezers. It's the
Okay.
first time I've ever done them, so I was 2 for 2. I got them off.
That's very good. See, I'll tell you
And-
right now, I still have a bump on my thigh, like my inner thigh. I sat down and I was actually using the facilities and I looked down at my thigh. I was like, that's weird. There's like a little bump.
Huh,
And
never
I
noticed a
and
mole there
then-
before.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden the legs started moving in there.
Oh.
And I freaked out. So instead of being proper and like doing the proper, I just freaked out and grabbed it and threw it. I was like, ah! And I thought, okay, now apparently they can like leave their heads in. Like, I
Yeah,
broke
you
the head
gotta-
off, so I have a head stuck in my
Oh no.
thigh. I think it's really weird.
Yeah.
But I didn't give it the proper due process, and now I'm all a little worried. Apparently that's how you get all the Lyme diseases and stuff too.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I'm doing okay.
But
it was
You don't
horrifying.
seem limey to me.
I hope.
But anyhow, so
yeah.
if you take your dog in to Pet Planet, get them
Get those
washed,
ticks
that's
out.
also a real good opportunity to give your dog the once over and make sure there's no ticks on there because
Yeah.
the ticks are out there.
See-
I was out of town this weekend.
I'll
We
do
found a couple of ticks out there in the woods.
You know, having a 3-legged dog has been such a blessing because she can't go
Can't-
out and
doesn't-
roam and run
right.
and walk every day. So we're very, very fortunate in that the ticks getting around her is very rare. Like,
Because, man, that's some fur she's got on there.
That
It would be
is-
tough to
that-
find.
yeah.
But
So
hopefully
it's-
also tough for them to burrow through.
that's the plan. And
That's been TikTok for today.
always talking ticks. The whole point of that being wash your pet.
Wash your
at
pets
Pet Planet on 8th
Pet
Street.
Planet.
And then guess what? Ticks might go away. Hey, how are we looking on a Zoom? Oh, Uncle Brando's saying we got it. Are we ready to bring in our final member of the All the Way Around table for today? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time now to check in once again all the way around on the other side of the world with Coach number 1. Oh,
There he is.
oh, bro, tell me you can hear us.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
And we got you crystal clear.
Are ticks a big problem in Australia? Do you guys have ticks? Like the insects?
I don't know.
Okay.
I could Google it.
I
But-
don't know. Don't sound too
I haven't had
far.
much
I shouldn't have.
experience with
I should have
ticks.
wrapped TikTok a little bit earlier. I went back to it and it cost us.
That's fair. We got a little greedy.
Yeah.
How can there? I guess because it's a totally different climate. Do you know anyone who has pets out there?
Oh yeah, dog. Yeah, a lot of people have dogs. Our daughter's trying to get us to get one, but it's just it's not part of our
That's your thing.
daily or our routine. So
That's fair.
I can do some research for you if you want, but
That's okay. TikTok is
Okay.
probably good to wrap now anyway.
we're
We went as far as that train can go. How was the flight home, brother? Again, it was so nice to see you, and thank you for dropping those cards off because then I got to see my other coach, Coach Maisie, Big Maisie. I guess we're calling Coach number 3 now. Got to have a nice visit with him when he came by to pick up all those cards you dropped off. So you're the gift that keeps on giving, brother. How was the flight home? How did it all go?
yeah, flight home was pretty smooth. Again, just Saskatoon, Vancouver, Sydney, and then Sydney, Melbourne. So everything was on time.
Did you do the flight from Sydney? Did you do the flight from Sydney to Melbourne?
Yeah. So it's about a 1 hour, 70-minute flight. So that's not too bad. I spent 3 hours in Vancouver. I made sure I had my A&W teen burger and onion rings because that's something we grew up going to Jackfish Lake. So I didn't have any when I came over. So still as good as ever with the root beer as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I remember the bus ride when me and my buddy Benny, we landed in Sydney, and I think it was like in my head it was like a 10-hour bus ride from Sydney to Melbourne. But that doesn't sound right. Is that around there?
Yeah, it wouldn't be far off. I think it's you probably had to. Did you stop
So
at a
many
couple
stops.
places on the way?
So many stops.
No stop.
We had a million stops. We were stopping like every half hour.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was crazy. But it was the
Well, that's
cheapest
why.
bus ride we can get. Yeah.
Yeah. I think normally it's an 8-hour drive if you just pinned it all the way. So,
You did
but
it
yeah, no,
right.
the flight was good. It's good to be back. We got a new guest. We got our third. Oh,
No, this
he's
is producer
crashing
Brando.
in.
Oh, he's coming in hot. What's he saying?
A little bit more TikTok, guys.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
TikTok. Here you go.
So there are 70 species of tick that live in Australia, and just to prove that everything is always more horrific in Australia, the number one most common tick is the Australian paralysis tick, which can paralyze animals and humans that they bite. Fun fact.
Not just a clever name. Oh,
Wow.
throw it in the mix. Something else to look for.
Hey, we
every
live on
day
the
when you
edge
leave
over
the front
here.
door.
Man.
Oh, man. Thank you so much, producer Brando. Fantastic job. Always working. Ooh-wee. My, oh my. Okay. So before we get anywhere else, I think I'm going to get our little live read out of the way here for our good friend Mobley. Before we do anything, because I have a feeling once we get talking, we're not going to stop and we're not going to remember all this stuff. So with that in mind, and ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, as you're following along at home, these could be your live reads too. We could be promoting you, showcasing you, showing off all the incredible stuff that you and your business do. It's very easy. We'll tell you how to do it right away. First off, here's a big question. Why work with Mobley this spring? If you're looking to buy a home, he's got your back. Mobley Llorente with TMG The Mortgage Group works with multiple lenders to find the best financing options, even if you're self-employed, have non-traditional income, or face credit challenges. I continue to be the target audience for that right there. His services are completely free, and he is here for you from pre-approval to closing and beyond. Whether you need refinancing, a mortgage renewal, or just expert advice down the road, he'll always be there to help. That is Mobley Llorente, mortgages made simple. Call or text him anytime, 306-370-5804. Eh?
Oh, beautiful.
They're
Nailed
always
it.
so informative. When are we going to start doing live reads out in Australia there, Coach number 1?
We got to get some more sponsors on board. That's I'm failing miserably at that right now.
You do have a real life and a job and a million things, so we'll let it pass here. But if it ever comes up, we'll definitely get into that. Email is how you get a hold of us right here, and we love to do this one. We got a little song for it now, and then we swat it away right into Coach number 1's face. I have no expectations for anyone else to read it. It's a good thing for me to keep reminding myself how fun it is to sing theme songs, because we all love theme songs. So send an email to contact@dufferinav.com. That is the email. This is the theme song. I'm switching up a little bit every now and then. It's very, very fun. All right, you ready to toss this bad boy?
Yeah, let's do it.
On 3, 1, 2, 3, get out of there.
Out of here,
Beautiful. Hey, he dodged. Yeah, there's the dodge. I knew it. The high heat, hey?
The
Don't do it at my
delay.
head.
The delay.
Don't do it at my head. Also got a website Rail Anders has hooked us up with. Very fun, very exciting, very streamlined, and easy to use with a perfectly signed street sign.
Yeah, get out
On
of here.
3, 1, 2, 3, get out of here. Beautiful. Okay, time to get down to business. AJ, Aussie baseball. I think this is the first thing on our docket. Coach Mazer gave me a little rundown today. Curtis Anderson and Coach Mazer are not joining us as they have, again, very, very busy lives with lots going on. Aussie baseball was a thing that Coach Mazer said you wanted to bring up. What's going on with that?
Well, we've had some big news here recently. So there's club baseball, and that's what I'm involved with. And then you've got your provincial level, but there's an Australian baseball league here. There's 6 teams. Every major capital city has it. It was started 10 to 15 years ago. Or it had been around back in the 90s, then disappeared, and then it's been back for the last 10 or 15 years. Major League Baseball actually bankrolled it.
Really?
For the first 5 or 6 years.
So make it sort of like a feeder league, or like a minus A ball maybe down under?
I think there was a couple things driving that. Definitely it's a safer place for minor league players to come than, say, maybe some of the Central America places where players are sent. That was some of the reasoning. I think also what they created this model where now there's private ownership. Ooh. So it's like they created this product and then flipped the teams, and then there's most of the teams here are run privately. And it's probably another way just to grow the game. So over the last 10, 15 years, it's been running. I would say attendance is probably similar to maybe the Berries on a good day. So they play 3 or 4 games a week. You get here in Melbourne, they got the private ownership has pumped money into this team like you can't believe. Massive scoreboards, improvements on the fields. Their dressing room is super awesome. Like, it is professional, carpeted. It just super schmick. And the last 3 or 4 years, the Melbourne team off field has done extremely well. So the attendance that they get over the season is better. Last year was better than the next 2 teams combined. Ooh. So it's a little bit of an indication. Just the league, it's not, I'm going to say stable. It's a financial challenge to run. So 2 days ago, Melbourne has announced that they're withdrawing from the Australian Baseball League.
Oh, no.
And so that took everybody, what the heck is going on? And on social media, they took an absolute beating. Like, all the fans are going, I can't believe you're doing this. You're abandoning us. We bought season tickets for next year. People are saying you're wrecking baseball in Australia, all this sort of thing. Now, their plan is still they're going to play in the Korean Fall League. So I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Seems like a long road trip.
Yeah, that's a lot of travel.
It's not quite as long as to Saskatoon, but it's still pretty far. And then they're going to play some exhibition games in January and February. And last year they brought over, there was a Korean team that Hanwha, what's the Korean pitcher from the Jays that recently finished up with them?
Ooh, Kikuchi? No, Kikuchi's still going.
No.
The heavier set guy.
Ryu.
Hyunjin
Ryu.
Yeah, like that's his team. So they've come out for some exhibition games. We've had the national team play some other teams. So they've we don't know exactly, but they looked at that model and said, we could do that. Anyways, they took a ton of backlash from, like, everybody's just slamming these guys. You're being selfish. We can't believe. So then they came out and they said, actually, like, here's why. Financially, it doesn't make sense for us anymore. To play in the ABL, it's a $100,000 franchise fee. So you pay to play. It's kind of like probably playing in the men's league. You
like every year?
Every year.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Team fees.
So they got to pay that. Yeah. You pay, the Aces have paid 2 years in advance every year to help with cash flow. There's been a couple years where a couple of the teams couldn't do it. So guess what? The Aces said, well, we'll cover you. We'll worry about it later. So they've come out and said over the last few years, they've lost in the red for $11 million.
Oh,
since they've taken over.
More sense.
Yeah. Do they have any sort of commissioner? Anyone who tried to be on top of all this?
That's the thing. The ABL hasn't come out and responded yet. And the Aces have come out and said, look, we've put ideas forward for streaming, for media, really different ways to give the league some more stability, but it sounds like their ideas have been falling on deaf ears. So they've just made the decision, announced it 2 days ago. So in the baseball community, like, you could just see people are pissed right off. But now that they've come out and explained a little bit, now there's these debates going back and forth around Well, actually, if this was you, would you do the same thing? So I'll keep you posted next week because no doubt
Wow.
there'll be more that's coming out. But I haven't seen that where the best team and on field they've won a few. They call it the Claxton Shield. That's the traditional national championship. It's actually like a plaque, but it's a massive plaque. Like I'd have
It's
to
like a
hold
shield?
it like a shield. Well, hence why it's called the Claxton Shield. Probably good pick up. So they've won that a little bit, but on the off field, they've put on a great show. We've gone to a lot of games and really enjoyed it. The quality of the ball has gotten better and better, but now there's question marks around the league,
Well,
and
that's
more to come.
My first question is the league going to be able to keep going without the cash cow?
Well, that's what we'll find out. Is these other teams that have relied on the Aces, so the Aces ownership group, to fund them.
Yeah.
So this is day 3 that we've known about this. So
Man.
it's still early, but yeah, it is. In a way, it's sad because a lot of the kids. I mean, people talk about the growth of the game here, and it's not a huge sport. It's not a tier 1, tier 2 sport. But what the Aces in the league did was give you something to look up to as a kid. And, as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old,
Yeah.
even the 15-year-olds that are playing ball here, one day they might be like, hey, you know what? I want to play with the Aces. And it gives the game exposure. So, anyways, again, watch this space. Pretty big news. Gary's now pumping on the
Repping.
research lower plenty gear
Tell
just
us
to promote
about
the
this.
game even more.
We had some questions, and I said, hopefully we'll talk to them next week about it. Tell us about the Roadrunners.
Well, it's timely you ask about it. So this is the baseball club I'm involved with. Baseball here in Melbourne is club based, so it's not juniors and seniors. I think we've talked about that before. So if you play with research, you can play there from the time that you're 5 years old to the time I think our oldest player right now is 77. So
Hold on a second. What kind of stats is the old 77-year-old putting up?
Jackson, man, he comes out. He's a pitcher.
Nice.
He comes in there. He plays in our Masters over 45. So he is 30 years older than the minimum age. He comes in, throws 2 or 3 innings, throws a lot of strikes, mixes in the odd spinner in there. But it's a great example of where this is the great thing about our sport, I think, is that you can be 77 and still jump on the mound and do a good job.
Mini Minoso style. Played in 6 different decades in Major League, something like that.
Sounds about right.
Crazy.
Mini Minoso.
So
Yeah.
What a name, too.
It's a great name.
Dude.
yeah,
So-
the club
Yes.
plays in both seasons. We've got a winter league and we've got a summer league.
the way
It is the
baseball
70th anniversary of the club this year.
70?
So 1955 was the first game that the club played on. Established 1955. Yep.
Hell yeah. Crazy.
So so it's a big year for the club. We've got some 70th anniversary events and new merch and a few other surprises coming out for the club and the members. So it's a big year for the club.
How many members are there? Hold on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So members are pretty much players. Some clubs will offer memberships. You pay, I don't know, $80 and you get a shirt and a hat and access to all the games. Games are free anyways. But so in the winter, our club would have 6 junior teams, 3 men's teams, a women's team. And then in the summer, I think we had 6 or 7 junior teams. So that's, under 18s, all the way down to T-ball. And then we had 4 men's teams, a women's team, and a Masters team that plays in the over 45s.
I'm starting to get this. So it's like the umbrella. So it's like you got your Blue Jays, but then you got your AAA, your AA, your single. And like not in that sort of setup, but the different Blue Jays, if you will. All under the same name, different leagues, different teams, and all that. But you're all representing the logo.
All representing the Roadrunner. Yep, absolutely.
Very
fun.
cool.
How did the Roadrunner come up? Is there a story behind it? Like choosing the Roadrunner as the mascot?
You know what? That could be a good question to dig into
Gave you some
before the
homework
big
for-
dinner celebrating the 70th, because
Love it.
I've
like
got
to know,
no
man.
idea.
I'm assuming there's something to do with Wile E. Coyote in there, right? Like it's got to be something to do with the cartoon.
Yeah, this guy. Yeah. Anyways, well, there. I'll do some digging. We'll see what we can find.
Go ahead.
Just back to the Melbourne Aces now. Do you think, are they just going to go kind of like the full Savannah Bananas route? Or are they just become the touring team that goes around and embraces
Freaking football stadium?
Yeah, it's amazing what they've done there. Because they were just like a Cape Cod League team or something like that.
And then they did the Globetrotters
And then they did
deal
this,
and
and now
took
it's like
off.
the biggest success story ever.
Yeah, well, you know what? I've thought about. I don't know is the short answer because you think about the players. So the players that the Aces get, some are local, but they also get players from overseas. Greg Bird used to play with the Yankees,
Yeah,
and like
absolutely.
he actually
He
was
was a
pretty
big
good with the
prospect.
Yeah, he was
Yankees.
supposed to be a
Yeah,
monster
but
stud.
injuries, shortened his career in the big leagues. So he's been with the club for 3 years. The challenge with some of the players is this is not their job. Like they don't make good money doing this.
Sure.
I suspect there might be players who are recruited to go play in a tournament in Munster and go pitch a game or two, probably make more money per game than some of these players may make. So if they're now having to travel more, like further, which players are going to be available? How's that's going to work with less games being played domestically? So there's and then the attraction. I can see if you're playing in the Korean League, but for players to come over here play exhibition games, even though it's the off season leading into, that might be the attraction. It's leading into spring training in North America. But yeah, still a lot of questions. It's a good one to ask, Simon.
I have another Australian baseball question, if I can ask, because
Always.
you guys know I love baseball, and I love it in all its forms and all its countries. Travis Bazzana, is he a big deal in Australia? Are people like going crazy for this guy? Because I think he's going to be. He was the number 1 overall pick last year. I think we talked about him.
I never heard of him until you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 1 pick for the Guardians. Are people going crazy? Are they super excited that this guy is maybe about to become a superstar?
Well, when he was drafted, that was like baseball doesn't make mainstream news very much. So when he was drafted number 1, definitely all over the news. It's quietened down a little bit, but that was some good little rush. Bazzana is probably a good example of the Australian Baseball League. He played with the Sydney Blue Sox, and he played, I think the story goes, he played when he was like 15 years old, 14, 15, that he came up through their system. So he's playing against men, probably semi-pro players, professional players that come over for the off season. So he was kind of one of these rising stars, but definitely when he was drafted number 1, it was everywhere. But it's funny you asked that now because maybe because he's in, what is he? I don't know if he's double A. Is he bumped up to there?
I think he's at triple A,
yet?
but
Okay.
Either way, those guys.
So we haven't heard a lot about him. The baseball community would be all over that. But we had when Ollie played in the summer at Nationals, the head of high performance for Baseball Australia talked to them, and we asked them some questions around, well, what's Bazzana like? And one of the things they said is like, he's a guy that every single player loves having him on the team. Like he is just the absolute best teammate.
Love that.
Excellent.
And loved hearing that because baseball is such an individual sport. Like it's really about, I got to get myself ready. I got to get up to bat, particularly, at the pro level. Like if you're not producing, you're not playing, you're not getting paid. But to hear that this guy was just, that is one of his strengths or one of the traits that really stood out, I thought was pretty interesting. He just played in his first national team World Baseball Classic. There was a recent global baseball tournament. I don't know if it wasn't the qualifiers.
It might have been qualifiers because I think they were running those this year for next year's World Baseball Classic.
Well, maybe yes, yeah. So that was the first time he got to represent like the senior team. So that was pretty exciting for the baseball community to see as well. To see the number 1 MLB draft pick.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Representing the country.
He's at Double A playing with the Akron Rubber Ducks.
Go Ducks.
Go
played in
Duckies.
20 games, 2 home runs, 13 ribbies, batting .241 currently, 3 stolen bases.
Bad
Get some speed from your first baseman. That's okay.
And it takes a while to adapt, right? I can imagine. But do you think that's a great question too. Do you think there's a difference between a guy from Australia coming over and having to adapt from the Australia Baseball League to MLB? Is there any little differences at all? or it should be just a drop and play?
I think one of the things, and I noticed this when it was in Saskatoon, and it was at one of the academies, and went and watched some of our rising stars there drive. Here in Australia, like, and maybe this makes sense why Bazana is such a team player. It is driven in from you, like from the time you're playing with the Roadrunners to the time you're playing with the national team and representing your country. They want to see the team succeed. Yeah. Like it is about team. And I think one of the things that changes that when you go overseas, it's different. It's about you. You are fighting for your job. You're fighting with people from the Dominican who grow up with absolutely nothing. And they are there. If they get a job, if they make the show, that impacts not just them, but that impacts their family, that impacts the village where they came from. So the competition at an individual level, I think, is something that's a big surprise and something that they have to adapt to. When I was watching one of the academies, some of the players were heading over to Florida for some, I think, some tournament games that was organized through, I don't know if it's through Bronzy at Sask Baseball or through the academies. But one of the things that the coaches said, now, hey, this is different than when you're going and playing Team Sask. Every time you go up to bat, you got to remind yourself, think about, hey, I'm fighting for a job here, because there's going to be college scouts, there's going to be people checking you out. So every time you have your chance, you got to pretend I'm fighting somebody else. I hadn't heard that before, and I actually think it's good advice to give when you're going to some of these showcase tournaments.
Sure.
But here, so far, it's not quite like that. It is really focused on you want to see the team succeed.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to correct something I said. He's not a first baseman. As soon as I said that, I knew that was it. He's a second baseman. I always confuse Travis Bazana and Kyle Manzardo, who plays for the Cleveland Guardians, who is a first baseman. Manzardo currently plays for Cleveland. He's a second baseman. And that was one of the reasons they thought they got rid of Andres Jimenez, is to maybe eventually open up the spot for Bazana.
Yeah. I've heard whispers he maybe shifted to the outfield at some stage, but
interesting.
Anyways, that's
very interesting.
We'll see.
I look at that and I picture, what would I want if I was a manager or a general manager of a baseball team? Like, do you want a guy who's going up there that you know is playing for the name on the back instead of the name on the front? Or do you want a guy coming up who's all about the team and is going to take that route? Because it sounds like you're putting a real divide into the road to the majors for these guys. When you're coming up in Australia, hey, boys, let's go. I'm all about you guys. And then you get to wherever you're going. It's like, oh, now I just care about me? I don't know. It stuck out to me when you said you love that idea and that approach. And to me, I'm like, I hate that.
But I mean, it's more about
business.
These guys advancing their own careers.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it sounds like. And, hopefully by the time they get to that ultimate level, whatever it ends up being, you not only have those individual skills, but they will manifest themselves in terms of helping your team because you're so good. But when you're at this level that I think Coach is talking about, it's like, you got to do what you can to take that next step. And I get it. You got to.
I just love using the term playing for the name on the back instead of the name on the front.
Good, yeah.
I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's just
that's the story, or there's a story that the Yankees, because I think when they play at home, which jersey of theirs I don't think they have the names.
They don't have names on
back.
Any of them.
Yeah.
Neither of them.
On any of them.
No.
And the story goes that that's because in early days they're like, hey, that name isn't as important as this name. This is what we're focusing on.
I hate it when, like, my brother, who's a huge Yankees fan.
Oh no.
When, like, and we went to Seattle and saw a couple of Yankees games together, and you'll see people wearing the Yankees jersey and it'll have like the number 3 on the back, but then they'll put Ruth above it, or they'll have 7 and it's like Mantle. So that's our ongoing joke. It's like, oh, number 3 is Babe Ruth. I didn't know. Number 7, Mickey Mantle. You don't say. I hate it when people put the names on the jerseys when they don't have the names on the jersey.
The Mick. I'll tell you real quick, MLB The Show 25, our good best friend of the show, my buddy Frankenstein, a.k.a. Chad Cranky, who we know and love so much, a big, hell of a baseball player. Every time he unlocks new guys, he always like sends a video, and he unlocked Babe Ruth in the game. He's like, I got Babe Ruth, and it was so cool. And then I said, if you want to really impress me, go get the Mick. And the next day he goes, I got the Mick.
Nice.
And so he has a team with Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle. I was like, okay, now I'm getting really close to needing to own this game.
Such a great game. I don't have a PS5 yet. I need to get one.
Yeah.
I'm still on the PS4, but man,
So
MLB The Show, I've
the
spent
best games.
thousands of hours in my
Absolutely.
life.
Did you ever play any of the modern games there, AJ? I know we play all the baseball stars growing up.
Oh,
and
SNK
RBI
Baseball Stars? I love that
And baseball
game.
stars too. You ever get into any of those Nintendo games, the baseball games?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the new ones like MLB The Show, Ollie's big into that, and
Oh,
then
okay, good.
we had NHL, and then Ollie's been playing the football like Madden. What? But
Oh,
it's the
yeah.
college. I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Madden
NCAA
has
football,
college as
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've tried that, and it's just the older you get, I think the worse you get at that because just naturally your reaction time.
Yeah.
Is
I
And your
definitely
not
played
as
in
good.
rookie mode in whatever the last one I had. I think it was
Just
23.
throwing
It's like, oh
fastballs
god.
all day, sock the
yeah.
dingers. Yeah, that's the way to do it. This is the All the Way Around Table. That's what we do here every Wednesday on your show. Hang out with Simon Hyatt, our good friend from Stay Wild.
Woot woot.
We got a new episode every
Monday
Monday.
night.
till-
2 episodes to go. So this coming Monday will be episode 5, which I believe is called Making the Call, which is actually appropriately named, unlike my episode. If you didn't see us talk about that last week, we
Pretty
did. And then it'll wrap up with episode 6 a week from Monday.
Okay, and we've been in talks about promoting that a little bit more, so we have
Yeah,
to make sure
we,
to set
we
that
might have to figure that out because that would be great.
I'm all over that.
Yeah.
And the All the Way Around portion of the All the Way Around Table, our good friend Adrian Belarzon, a.k.a. Adrian the Canadian. Around here, we call him Coach Number One. You know him as the author of Teams That Swear by Each Other, Not About Each Other, at each other. Read the bottom. What's it say on the bottom?
Teams
that
that
close?
swear by each other, not
I
about
did nail
each
it.
other.
First try, I knew it.
Good work.
Author, public speaker,
Look at
all
that
around
photo.
great dude. He was also
Look at
in
that
this very
guy.
studio for a couple shows. It was so nice to catch up with him and the brothers, and great little visit. I want to move on to MLB baseball, as we do have a true, living, dying genius of a stats man. I was trying to think of like better ways to get up there, but baseball.
Am
all
I
about tradition and
dying?
stats.
What
No,
are you
you're
talking? What's
okay.
going on? This is a terrible way to break this
I
news to
wanted
me,
to
Gary.
give you all the high praise, and it just kept going like here. It's like, no, the other way. This guy knows baseball. So does our friend Coach Number One.
We love baseball.
And if you like baseball, it's the perfect sport for people who just love to pour over stats. There's so many stats and so many traditions. It's a beautiful thing. I figure we spend the last about 20 or so minutes getting caught up with the first couple, was it month and a half?
Just a shade over a month.
There you go. Month.
About 1/6
in.
of the way through the season.
And they usually say, and they being experts, that's about the time when you can get a good starting gauge on what your
Yep.
team's going to look like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, should we just start with the Chicago Cubs?
I'm pretty sure if we don't, you'll just be thinking about it the whole time until we do.
Chicago Cubs, first month of the season, had the toughest schedule
Oh,
in all of baseball.
spoken like a true Cubs fan.
This is true. I'm not making it up. Like statistically, every single team that they played in the first month of the season right now has a record over 500.
That's pretty tough.
The rest of the season, they have the easiest schedule in all of baseball,
So what?
starting with the Pittsburgh Pirates last night, who they thumped. And so I'm
Don't
feeling
mind
good because
telling you.
they've won 60% of their games, which puts us on about a 96, 97% pace. If we
Could
can,
be a playoff team.
yeah, it's looking pretty good. That NL Central is a little wacky after the Cubs. Both the
Yeah.
Brewers and Cardinals stumbling a little bit. The Reds are actually playing probably as well as anyone that isn't the Cubs in the division.
They're finally coming around here.
Yeah.
That Reds team has been so full of potential. That Hunter Green, oh my
He's
God!
good.
I've been drafting that guy for like 3 years straight
Yep.
now, being like, I need him. Then I didn't get him this year, and of course he's finally being like Mr. Cy Young.
I got a lot of Nick Lodolo, who's another pitcher for
Yeah.
the Reds, and he's been good but not great this year. It's a tough ballpark to pitch in Cincinnati.
Of course.
It's really
Windy.
small. The ball flies out of there. But yeah, I mean, you're basing your offense around Ellie De La Cruz. You're feeling pretty good, and they have got
Yeah.
so many of those young guys that I
That's
have
it.
trouble keeping straight, like
They're such
Matt
a good young team.
McClain and Christian Encarnacion Strand. Noel V. Marte all of a sudden is playing well after his suspension last year.
Man, just you can tell, like when you talk about divisions, you can always tell which division your team's in. Hey, like you go.
I know
read
that
down every
division well.
roster of every. It's like, dang.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Like
say, you do that
when
for
is
a
the
little
last
ago.
time? When is the last time anybody has talked about the Cincinnati Reds?
It's
Legit.
been a while. Let's
Right?
see. They won the
But-
World
but you're-
Series in 1990. It's probably been since then, but yeah, it's been a while since they've been relevant. I mean, they had Joey Votto and Brandon Phillips and guys like that over the years. They've been good. They've made playoff appearances, but nothing too. You're right, nothing too relevant in recent years.
For sure.
And then the NL West, other than the Rockies, who might be historically bad, they might be threatening that White Sox record from last year. Although they won this afternoon, they beat Chris Sale this afternoon, much to my fantasy team's chagrin.
Me too.
Although he pitched pretty well. He only gave up 2 runs and went 7.
We need to do a fantasy catch-up.
This,
we gotta get our
yes.
teams
Oh
going.
my
Okay,
God.
maybe we'll put
that
that
would
on
be
the docket for the next couple weeks.
The other 4 teams, you got the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, Giants, and Padres. They're all great. They've been really good, so that'll be really interesting to watch. And then the Mets in the National League East are just on fire. They're phenomenal, and Juan Soto hasn't gotten it going yet.
We've seen this. I feel like we've seen this song and dance so many times with the
that's
Mets,
true.
eh?
It's true.
So many times.
Yeah.
They come out of the gates like, finally, they're going to do something.
Yeah.
And then something happens. I'm not going to jinx it because I don't mind the Mets.
I don't mind the Mets either. I have no problem with the Mets.
Definitely love them over the Yankees.
Love them over the Yankees.
I knew
Love
New
them
York
over the
team, give me the
Braves. Love
Mets.
them over the Phillies.
That's it. AJ, how do you feel about the Mets?
They still have the highest salary. Like, this is Steve Cohen's crew, isn't it?
They do, I think, because I think a lot of that is still because they're still paying like Justin Verlander and Max
yeah, they got
Scherzer and Jacob DeGrom
big
and
ones.
guys that haven't played for them in a while. So I
Some.
think their salary is the highest, but I think they'll be passed by the Dodgers next year.
Next year. So, you know what? I think the Mets the best team in the majors right now. They've got
They've
the
been
best
phenomenal.
record,
Yep.
70% of the
21-9.
games. So,
The Mets are
Yeah.
8-2 in their last 10.
whereas the Jays are 2-8 in their last 10, but
We'll get there. Don't worry. We got a lot of
we'll
grievances
get there.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, if we're talking bad teams, and you touched on this, Simon, Colorado.
Yeah,
So interesting if they won today against Chris Sale. Chris Sale's a lefty, isn't he?
he is.
Yeah.
It's their first win this year against a lefty. They were 0-9 going into today.
Is their
versus
5th
the
win
lefties.
overall? Is
They're
that right?
5-25, guys. 5-25.
5-25.
That's a worse pace than the White Sox last
yeah.
year.
So depending on how the Dodgers go today, going into today, they were 15.5 games behind the Dodgers
won
for
today.
first
They beat the
place.
Marlins.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're still 15.5 games behind a month in. They've
rough.
got a league worst ERA, 6.73. If they stay on that, that will be the worst ever in MLB. So, like, these guys are on track for something special.
Man, is Colorado not just like Cincinnati?
It
In
is.
a
I
way,
mean, it's even
feel
worse.
like-
Like, how
yeah.
do you have any optimism if you're a Colorado Rockies fan? I mean, they've got their number 1 pick from last year, Chase Dollander, came up, and he's actually been okay, starting pitcher. But yeah, it's so tough to succeed
There's only
as
been,
a pitcher there.
I'm going to say three things that have ever come out of the Colorado Rockies. One would be Larry Walker. 2 would be, I believe, Troy Tulowitzki. Was
Sure.
he over there? Yeah. And
Tulo,
3,
yeah.
and my final one, and this is such a statement on the team and the franchise as a whole. Those Colorado Rockies hats that had the long string down the back, you get at Al Anderson's. I had one, and it has like the clip string zip up.
Okay.
They were like, for some reason, the coolest hats in the world. I got my hands on one when I was younger. It was like a year or 2 into the franchise, and I was so proud of this Colorado Rockies hat. I wore it for like 4 years straight. I was a Blue Jays fan. I just loved the Rockies logo, and I loved the long strings on the back, and you had the pull thing up. It was very neat. So those are the 3 things that I've ever appreciated from the Rockies, and that's about it.
No love for Todd Helton here.
You know,
You're a bum. Get out of here, you.
yeah.
Todd Helton, all right, Hall of Famer.
I'm just bugging you.
Did he get in Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
It's a great question, isn't it?
Feels
I
like
feel like
that's
he
something I
should.
should know.
Jeff,
Yeah, he did.
yes.
Very recently, I believe.
Yeah.
I would add Jeff Francis just because he's a good
Canadian
Canadian
kid.
lefty pitcher
Okay,
as
we'll give you
well.
that.
So he had a good run with them. So and Dante Bichette, was he there?
Yeah,
Bichette,
he was. Yeah.
You
Without him, we wouldn't have both.
That's right.
That's right.
Quite literally.
So,
And
yeah.
he destroyed baseballs too. Let's make no mistake.
Yeah.
Dante had no respect for a single baseball in his life.
He matched.
He ruined all of them. So
So who's going to win the American League? Like, no one is good in the American League. Everyone is just
looking at these
mediocre.
numbers. Okay, let's do another reset. Hanging out on the all the way around table with coach number 1. We got Simon Hyatt.
Hello.
And yours truly hanging out on a Wednesday like we always do. All the love to Coach Kamatu, a.k.a. Coach Mazer, and Curdy Avatar Anderson, who couldn't join us today.
Who at one time gave me a framed copy of SNK Baseball Stars, which was a very nice
He gets it, man.
gesture
gets
by
it.
him.
You ever play Baseball Stars too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also very good.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, let's have a little look-see-poo here. Let's start in the AL East.
Sure.
Yankees. Thoughts? Anyone want to talk about the Yankees?
Whatever, Yankees.
No.
Who
Coach?
cares?
No? Okay.
I want to talk about the Orioles.
We're going to get in there? Okay. Let's go right into that. As you said it so well before, a team with so much talent.
Yep.
So much talent. Sitting last place in the AL East, 11 and 18.
Yeah.
11 and 18. And you're talking about Rushman. You're talking about Gunner. You're talking about the tip of the cap to all the young players around here.
Yep.
Like the top of all the drafts over the last little while. They're all there. Is it
So
just
many,
pitching? Is it just
so many
pitching?
great young players that are currently stuck in their minor leagues too. Hey, why don't you trade some of those for some pitching?
No, we're good.
No, it was good. We had that Corbin Burns guy for a year. We let him go.
Yeah.
And we're just not going to replace. We're going to bring back the ghost of Kyle Gibson, who gives up 4 home runs and a triple in the first inning last night. And
Just
that's
in
going to be how we're going to save our season. What is this franchise doing? It's a disgrace.
And I think this is what people have been worried about with them too.
Yeah.
They were very lackadaisical in the offseason about supporting this incredible roster they're putting out on the field.
Yep.
Which is very, very, very strange.
And I mean, it's similar. There's certainly a balance there with what the Pirates did, although no one really expects a lot from the Pirates. But the flip side is they've got these amazing pitchers. They've got Paul Skeens, generational
so
pitcher, one of
good.
the
Love
possibly
him.
the best pitcher in the game.
Yeah.
They've got Bubba Chandler coming up. They got Thomas Harrington. They've got Jared Jones, who unfortunately got hurt, but he'll be back. And this phenomenal rotation, and they did nothing in the offseason. And I'm starting to wonder, is this something intentional by the sort of small to mid-level teams, knowing that there's a labor stoppage coming probably in 2027? They're not spending any money, and because this is how they end up crying poor and trying to, what will likely be screw over the fans.
AJ?
That never even, I like your thinking there. Never even crossed my mind. But so they might be onto something. But I was just looking at the Orioles pitching staff here. How old is Charlie Morton?
97.
The Jet,
Yes.
I
Well, that
had him
might-
in a draft. I think he's the Jet 41.
Yeah, no, I think he's like even older. I think he might be like 40.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm on it. Keep going, AJ.
He
I
can't.
think he's an 83. So Charlie Morton's 0-6. His ERA is 9.45.
Yeah.
And he's still in the rotation.
Yep.
Sure,
And I mean-
surely he's going to be injured.
41.
Like they've got to just say he's hurt.
November 12th.
And of course, they had
He's
Grayson
45.
Rodriguez, but he's a pitcher, and pitchers get hurt. And when he got hurt, they didn't do anything to replace him. I don't know if he's going to pitch this year. I love Grayson Rodriguez, but is he going to throw a ball in 2025?
That's a great question.
Kyle Gibson.
Yeah.
He's pitched 3 innings, 3 and 2/3.
That was
His
last night.
ERA is 22.09.
It went home run, home run, home run.
Oh, man.
I think an out, triple, which was the play that Jazz Chisholm got hurt on, and he had to leave the game. Then home run. That was the first inning last night for Kyle Gibson.
Dude, that's rough.
Dean, I don't even know this dude, but Dean Kremer.
Dean Kramer, yeah.
Kramer.
He's 2-4. He's a starter.
He's all right.
Probably the best.
ERA 7.04.
Cade Povich is in that rotation. Is he still?
5.04. So
Yep.
he's the best of them.
There you go.
But they've got this Tomoyaki Sugano.
He's
Yeah.
interesting
He's pitched-
at least.
He's 3-1 with an ERA of 3.
Yeah.
He's the
So
one
that's-
sort of setting the
That's
tone there.
respectable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing what they expected him to do, and he's been fine.
I guess the big question here, boys, is this team good enough to turn it around?
No,
I take it back. It wasn't the question at all.
unless they make deals at the deadline, they are
Unless they
not.
got some pitching, yeah. Coach, agree?
But you know what? This is the thing. This is the thing with baseball, right? So you look at, I think Orioles have gone 3-7 in the last 10. Jays 2-8. We're only 1 month in. This is the great thing about baseball is these guys will do a flip run. They will go 8-2. They will go 7-3. That'll bring them back up to 500. So I just think it's so early in the season. We can look
You're
at
right.
this right now. Probably the only thing that we can hang our hats on is that the Colorado Rockies will be terrible. But outside of that, man, it's just too early.
Yeah.
We-
Even the Marlins
Which
are
is good
kind
for
of interesting this year.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't expect anything from them, but, they got Sandy Alcantara back. And They've got some interesting hitters.
I almost threw a couple bucks down on Sandy winning the Cy Young. Like before he got hurt,
That campaign is not off to a good start.
Yeah,
but
that's thankfully I did.
But I think he'll turn it around.
He was so good before he went down.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
And he'll get dealt.
Of course, that's what they do in Miami. Miami, 12 and 18.
But talking about Jazz Chisholm,
yes,
when they flipped him to the Yankees, you know who they got in return? One of the guys they got in return, which is now looking like a great trade, was Agustin Ramirez, who is now their superstar catcher, who is like batting 900 and like he's
to a hot start.
from a catcher's spot. He has been great. He's just been a revelation for them.
Okay, we're gonna speed this up a little bit just so we can get to a little.
No,
bit
we're going 2 hours today. 2 hours talking the first month of the MLB season.
He's getting yelled at.
Yeah,
you got to go. Do you have to leave? Do we keep you too long?
No. So we've while I was I think it was before I left. We went back an hour. So now instead of starting at 9, I start at 8.
Oh.
So the kids were they're leaving for school and they were just saying goodbye.
Oh, that's super sweet.
So that was
thank
nice.
you for choosing us over the kids again. We always appreciate it.
I'm sure they do too. I was going to say, like, from a baseball perspective, like a higher level for the league, there's a couple of things that are interesting. So, they put in this speed up rules a little while ago. Average game in April, 2 hours and 36 minutes.
Beautiful.
So it's a little bit, it's roughly on track of what it was last year, but that's actually that is better than the 3 hour. I think 3 hour
it's become
plus.
a significantly better product.
Absolutely, and make no mistake, boys, it's brought in younger kids, younger fans, because all the old people, we're all used to it, but for the kids, they can't physically sit for that long, and so to shrink that up, bring them on in, get them hooked on the baseball.
It's been interesting the impact it's had on announcers. They've talked about that a lot because in one you talk less. Yeah. But you also have much less time to try and tell the stories and try and paint that whole picture. So it's interesting to hear play-by-play guys talk about the impact that it's had.
I thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing a full game would be tough.
That would be interesting. Like, do they tell a story and then it's like strike one? They're like blah 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 blah. That's strike one and blah 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 blah. They keep that going. It would that would be a big challenge. Hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah.
What else you got for overviews?
What's that?
What else do you got for baseball overviews?
Yep, overviews. Got it. The other thing too is the stolen bases. They made the bases bigger. So stolen bases in 2024 in April 672. This year 714.
Feels like that. It feels like we're seeing more. And make sure we talk about Alejandro freaking Kirk gunning guys out. Anyone who dares to sniff a steal, he's eating them all day. Continue.
So well, I hadn't thought about. I was thinking more on the other side. Manny Machado and Bryce Harper are both on track for 36 stolen bases.
Wow, that would be something.
Machado had 12 last year.
Yeah, well, no one was allowed to steal. It was boring.
They both have 6. So
not just the bigger bags. It's the limits on the number of times the pitchers can throw over and check.
There's a lot more into it.
Yeah. Well, again, and I like it. And I hate giving Rob Manfred credit, but these are ways in which he has succeeded.
Is there a stat out there, because baseball is stats, that shows how many steals have been attempted and completed after the 2 throws to first or the 2 throws to the bag?
I'm sure there are. I don't know those numbers.
I don't know. I know there's about an 80% success rate of stealing second and 76% of stealing third. But I haven't seen that broken down. That's a good question.
That'd be a fun one.
We got to get our stats guru onto that.
We've never had a bigger green light in our lives than that. Hey?
Are we going to see another Ricky Henderson triple-digit season at some point? Like
nothing would make
Ellie
me
De La
happier.
Cruz or Pete Crow Armstrong or one of these guys?
It's just such a big number. It's so many, but the road's there, the path is there for it to happen.
If you can stay healthy and you've got that green light.
Yeah, it'd be good to bring up these speedsters again. Like, who was the last just true can't do anything? Was it Billy Hamilton?
Billy Hamilton's a good one. There's one who just got called up by the Rays, who's named Chandler Simpson.
Nice.
Outfielder for the Rays. And he's actually, he's a decent hitter, kind of in the Luis Arias mode. Good contact guy. He'll get on base a lot. But man, 80 grade speed and and great base stealing instincts.
We don't get those speedsters anymore. I really miss it. I love watching guys just create destruction and chaos on those base paths.
Mm-hmm.
That's baseball. Okay.
Terrence Gore, the guy who I think has 3 World Series rings and has like 12 at bats or something, because he was only on rosters just to pinch run and
That's
steal
it.
bases.
Wasn't there a guy there as well? Was with Tampa Bay not too long ago? We could do this all day. We're not going to. Let's talk Blue Jays.
All right.
Before we end up, we got a couple minutes here to go on the all the way around table. I mentioned earlier Alejandro Kirk and his defensive ability. Like, it's crazy. It's on that Bo Bichette level of like, okay, this is something you need to work on. And then it's like, okay, I have 24 errors. I got to fix that. Okay. And it comes out next year, like 4 errors. He's like, I fixed that. I'm still hitting. I feel like Alejandro Kirk, like one of the biggest, chirps on him was his throwing out guys and how, he wasn't a defensive catcher. He was there for his bat. And I feel like he did the Bichette thing. Said, oh, you don't like that? Okay, we'll watch this. And now every time I watch a Jays game, he's throwing someone out.
Yeah, it's great.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to see that transition. That's one of like the highlights for me personally. What else are you noticing about the Blue Jays?
I think, despite I feel like
talk about the wins and losses.
I feel like early episodes we spent a lot of time talking about Bowden Francis and how excited I was about him. And
boy, did I ever jinx him!
And now I feel like I was wrong.
You were talking about throwing what, like 5 dingers in a row out there?
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, so that's a rough blow. I mean, Jose Brios is doing what he does.
Yeah.
Kevin Gausman is sort of doing what he
Chris
does.
Bassett.
Yeah, he's off to a good start.
Like the guy's just. Everyone keeps saying, "Oh, he's too old. He's been too old for like 4 years now."
Yeah.
And he just keeps going out there and eating it. Is this like a Mark Burley type situation with this guy?
Might
Is that
just
what
be
we're
able
looking
to
at?
keep it going. It's impressive. I mean,
It's very cool.
he's never been an overpowering guy. He's always just been a
Pick your
good,
spots.
solid pitcher.
Pick your
And
spot. What's your thoughts on Bassett there, Coach?
You know what? I didn't like him at first. I thought he was a little bit of a head case.
I was the same way. I thought he was washed up more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? He keeps finding a way to reinvent himself. He's got 14 different pitches.
I love that. I love the gimmick.
So what I like is that he's learning, he's pushing the limits. So I like that in a player. He's got to problem solve. He's got to find a way to stay relevant. He's got to find a way to he doesn't have the 99-mile-an-hour fastball, so he's finding different ways. So I think again, as I said this before, the Jays actually started out all right. They were in second and first place for a bit. It's early, and then now they've gone on a cold streak. Santander is known for not having a good April. So today is May 1st here. So he's got one more crappy game left to go in April in the league, and then May he'll start turning it on. Vladdy last year didn't have a good first month. So these guys, I would say, are somewhat traditionally slow starters. We've gotten that out of the way. And again, I think the Jays got to look at it. We got Vladdy. There's that bigger picture to look at. And had we lost him or not signed him, we'd still be talking about it. We'd be just going, the world is coming to an end. Rogers are useless. So I think we just got to give it some time.
Bo Bichette approaching a calendar year without a home run. The average is there this year, though, which is good.
Yeah.
Use some dingers.
Maybe he needs a torpedo bat.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, how's the torpedo bat working out?
We've used it once in batting practice, and that's it. So we haven't used it in the game yet. I think I'm worried about it breaking.
Yeah. I was thinking like a week or two ago that, man, have we gone the entire early baseball season schedule without mentioning torpedo bats? Because if so, that would likely make us the only podcast show baseball adjacent to
Remember
not
the
focus
first
on
week
that.
with the Yankees? There was a
Oh
call
my
to
God.
remove him from existence. The Yankees can't have these
I've
torpedo
never
bats.
gotten sicker, faster of
Yeah,
a baseball
so
topic
annoying.
than torpedo
So
bats in the early going.
It's good to know they're not as cool as we think.
I'm looking
No,
forward to
and if you
hearing
check
your-
out the stats,
Yeah.
you check out the Yankees stats post Milwaukee series, they're not near as good.
Okay,
And Aaron Judge isn't using one, by the way.
That's right. Yeah.
very interesting. Well, I'll tell you, this has been one hell of a show. Thank you to Uncle Brando and LB for getting us started here, our second ever producer of this show. And we did it with a Zoom.
We did it.
It's unbelievable. Thank you to Coach
Look at
number
this.
one.
Look at this
For
machine.
making it on, even with the time change and all that. Very, very, very good to see your face again. Very happy you made it home. So incredibly awesome to check in with you. How's the alfresco looking?
Man, it was one of the first places I went to when I got back home.
course. I feel like that's something we would miss. To Simon Hyatt, my man, staying wild. 2 more episodes.
2 more episodes to go. Monday night, 10 p.m. City TV.
City TV. Check that
in
out.
Saskatchewan, other times elsewhere in Canada.
And that one's called Wildlife.
In Canada, it's still
sorry,
staying
I'm
wild.
confusing it.
In the States, it's Wildlife Rehab on Nat Geo Wild.
Oh, there you go. Check it out. We love supporting our friends and our bros and everyone else around here. It's what we do. So very, very excited and proud of you for that. We'll be back tomorrow. It is going to be Thursday. We'll check in with CTV's Matt Young.
Maddie.
Again. That'll be a lot of fun as well. I think we might have a Johnny Factoid appearance and some other really cool things. Until then, remember, karma is very, 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 very real. All right? Do good things. They'll start happening to you. I promise you. That's how we got this place. Coach, we love you. You take care. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.